What is going on out there, peeps? All right, this is another one of my older NESARA GESARA videos, but I want to show you something. I posted it on Library on August 26, 2020. Okay? But here's what you're going to trip out. Listen to what I say is going to happen dealing with the RONA. I predicted this over a year ago. What we're going through, I predicted it over a year ago. But before we get into that, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. Hey, look, I'm going to be in Texas. I'm going to be in Texas from the 23rd through the 28th. But y'all can come out there and join me on Friday the 24th with Lisa Litecoin, of course, and Clint Westwood. There's other YouTube influencers that are going to be there. Come on out there and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will leave a link down below. We're going to be in Plano, Texas. So I want to encourage you guys to come out there and join us. All right, it's for a good cause. Plus, it'll give me a chance to really pick up the mind of those who know a little bit more than me about cryptocurrencies. And not only that, man, if you want to take some pictures and some Lambos, there's going to be some Lambos there, man. So come join us over there at the happy hour. I am. There's a lot of you that commented underneath the other videos saying, yep. So come on out here, you guys. Come join me. All right. So I'm going to leave the link for this down below. I knew better than to challenge people's barbecue skills, because now everybody in the comments like, come here, we got the best in Texas. And I'm like, man, somebody said so much for your diet. I'm like, I know, man, I know. So much for my diet. Good Lord. I'm telling you, I'll go to Texas and come home at least 30, 40 pounds heavier than when I got there. All right, you guys, look, come join us over. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, I will leave the link down below. So let's get into this video. I'm going to make it a full screen like this and just listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. This back in August of 2020. And we're going to get into that because I'm going to show you guys how all of these things are tied together. And I'm going to show you that their intentions are to keep you guys locked down in your house as a thing, not just part-time, but for a long time. And the only way you can get out is if you deserve it. Yeah, that's what they're planning on. I'm not even kidding you. And we're all falling for it. All of us. Okay, so before I get into all that fun-loving stuff that sounds so wonderful, for some of you guys are going, oh, you're just fear-mongering. Oh, this isn't, it's real. I'm going to show you. See, when I do these videos, I don't just say it. I show you what their words are. I show you what they're doing. You know what I mean? I get it. It doesn't look good. I get it. People don't like it. But the whole point is I want people to be aware of what the hell they're trying to do and what you should be looking out for. All right, before I get into this, I got to keep telling you guys because I feel like something big is coming. You know what I mean? So precious metals, you guys should be buying them. If you're going to buy precious metals here in the United States, please give our friends over at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link will be in the description. If you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free ½ ounce of silver. Now, I told everybody, get ready. They're going to try to, look at, they're artificially jacking up. Even though today we got an announcement that 1 million new more jobless claims came out last week, somehow magically the stock market is still setting records. Still. And what is that doing? What's causing the value of gold and silver to drop? Not a lot. They're still around the same areas, but we're seeing these slight adjustments up and down. I told you, don't be surprised if they try to drop it. Okay, you guys, this is from an older video, but I still want to encourage you guys. So you guys see my friend Anya, she's on YouTube, but she has written a book. She's written quite a few books. This is one of them right there. Okay, 44. I encourage you guys to go check it out. A lot of people have told me about this book and they like it a lot. So I once again want to remind you that it is there for you to purchase. Okay, great book. So it's 44 is the name of it. So if you look down on the bottom, it says Becoming Self. It would take 44 years to reconnect with her higher self and find her life purpose. Only if she will listen to her inner voice and follow its advice. Yeah, I talk about that all the time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Your inner voice, yeah, that's God speaking to you. And if you learn how to tune in, your life would be a lot different. Believe me, it would be. All right, so let's get into this because this is exactly what people should be paying attention to. But we're so distracted with orange man bad, racist, looters, rioters, you know what I mean? All this. This is all meant to keep us distracted. But it's also meant to push these agenda. So you got to ask yourself why it was under Obama we seen astronomical record amounts of white cops killing black people. It was all over the media like every day. Okay, first of all, I was so focused on this article, I did not see this article over here. You trying to tell me there's a gap in orgasms? I mean, we got a welfare gap, we have a wealth gap, but an orgasm gap? What the heck am I missing? Seriously? I don't know, probably because I never had experienced this crap before, but really? There's a gap in orgasms? Good Lord. Then under Trump, crickets for the longest time. Don't get me wrong, we had one or two, but nothing like under the Obama administration. How's that possible? He had an agenda. He is part of this whole corrupt cabal system. The Great Reset has set the most important creative brief the industry will ever work. So Adland Eco Group, the Great Reset is calling on the, I want you to listen to these words. It's important. They want you locked up in your house. They're going to use every excuse to keep you locked in your house. Work from your home, stay in your home, and they're going to say it's less CO2 in the air, less carbon emissions. You know what I mean? This is their plan. And if you don't follow through, you'll get arrested or you'll get a bad social score, which prevents you from traveling. Basically, they're going to lock you up in your home. This isn't hyperbolic. This isn't fear-mongering. You're going to see this. Watch what they're talking about. And you have to pay attention to the wording. Adland Eco Group, the Great Reset is calling on the creative industry to continue the environmentally positive patterns of lockdown life. Did you hear that? The Great Reset is calling on the creative industries to continue the environmentally positive patterns of lockdown life by posing an ambitious creative brief. Why do they need to focus on the positive patterns of lockdown life unless they intend to keep you there? The creative brief has been written by BBA Chief Strategist Officer Will Lyons, who stated this might be the most important brief you ever worked on. We're not done. Wait till you hear what they have in plan for you. The brief asked that the industry create to celebrate the accidental climate heroes of Britain and encourage them to make eco-conscious behavior as a badge of honor. They want to brainwash you into believing that everything you do, you should be proud of, even if you don't like it, like staying locked down. You see that? They're asking industry to create, to celebrate the accidental climate heroes. They're brainwashing you. You don't believe me? Let me show you something. Let me show you when Obama got in office, I told everybody, look, they wanted to brainwash people. Not only did we see an astronomical amount of unarmed black men killed by white cops under Obama, but we've seen record numbers of school shootings and mass shootings. Under Trump, notice how all that disappeared. Not 100%, but you hardly ever heard about it. Now we're in election year. Man, boy, howdy. I told everybody and I warned you, you're going to see them again and again and again and again. Those so-called deep staters don't give a rat's ass if people get murdered in the process to push their agenda and change the minds of the masses through brainwash. This is Eric Holder telling people you have to brainwash the public into hating guns. That's when he was pushing the gun agenda. Listen to what he's saying, because they're doing that for everything.
I've also asked people who have influence over youngsters, entertainers, athletes, to be involved in this program as well. But not only them, community leaders, Jesse Jackson, Mayor Barry, people who have credibility with young people should be on the television, on the radio, as much as we possibly can, and telling these youngsters that it's wrong to carry a gun, and that if you have information about people who are carrying guns, you've got to share that with Chief Thomas and with his people as well. I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Brainwashing people. What are they doing? Using athletes. What do we see happening now? All right, so Eric Holder, he's already telling the world what their agenda was. Now, this was just for guns, but we're seeing the same agenda that he's speaking about, what needs to be done through the media, entertainers, athletes, schools. We've been seeing this happen. They're all of them pushing this crap right now. Make no doubt about it. This is all part of a plan, and we can't fall for it. Okay? Can't. You just can't fall for it. All right? So look at that's their goal. So watch this. The Great Reset has also revealed a media hamper, which details media opportunities secured by mindshare. Makes you think about the cyborgs. You know how they all link together on Star Trek, if you're into that kind of stuff? Mindshare. Basically, let's get everybody, the collective people, thinking the same way we do through mind control. So again, opportunities secured by mindshare to showcase the winning work. Media owners who have pledged support in space, and then they give a list of media nobody gives a rat's ass about. But here we go on to right here, because you're going to listen to this. You think I'm lying? Listen to what this says. Lisa Merrick, Lawless, co-founder of the Purpose Disruptors, said the Great Reset is an invitation for the industry to use its creativity to reset its role in society. Our research showed that 77% of the UK population thought it was the responsibility of the advertising industry to maintain the positive environmental behaviors we experienced during lockdown. They want to control your behavior. They want to reset its role in society through brainwashing. That's what they want. I mean, truthfully, isn't that what advertisement is? Only 23% thought it was our responsibility to encourage people to consume like we did before. I like how they did that. Oh, yeah, we're going to go back to the old ways. That's what they're trying to say. That's why they word it this way. In other words, what they're really saying, and they're trying to make it sound bad, is like 23% of the people think it's their own responsibility, their own accountability for their own actions, as it should be. The other 77%, which I have a feeling these numbers are BS, the other 77% they're trying to say want you to be brainwashed and told how to act and how to think. So 23% of them said it's our responsibility to encourage people, in other words, force people to consume like we did before. Organizations like Iris, BBH, Mindshare, D&AD are stepping up to meet the wishes of the UK population and the needs of our planet at this moment. We welcome other progressive individuals and organizations to join them, and they have a lot of them. What is the Great Reset? In 2019, the Creative and Strike campaign saw Land take a strong stance against environmental disaster, and now its organizers have unveiled the next chapter of its mission. This is a mission. Do you see this? They have an agenda. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The Great Reset, which aims to tackle the climate crisis and spearhead a new normal. Once again, when it comes to climate hoax, and it is, everything that we're experiencing is the natural cycle of nature. Since I was a child myself, in the 70s, they were trying to brainwash us back then, and I talked about it in another video. Don't get me wrong, we could clean up the planet a lot more. And they'll lie. They'll use the media to lie, like you just saw. They'll use the media to lie. They'll use famous people to lie. They'll do whatever it takes. They'll use your schools to brainwash your kids. That's why parents have to be more involved with their kids' schoolings. Look at the damn books they're letting your kids study from, and then stand up against it. You need to go to the schools and say, what the hell is in this book? Oh my God. I think about the mothers of, the Mothers of Liberty. They're doing that now. They're reading their kids' books at all grade levels, and they're deciding what is okay and what is not okay as far as the criteria, as far as the curriculum is concerned, as they should. Parents should be that involved. The Great Reset is an initiative created by a group called, the Purpose Disruptors, and calls on the creative industries to continue the environmentally positive behaviors that occurred during lockdown. To encourage what came out of this that was positive? A higher rate of alcoholism, a higher rate of drug abuse, a higher rate of domestic violence, a higher rate of suicide. So what part of that was positive? You know what they think is positive? The fact that they were able to actually force you to keep yourself in your homes and never fought it by using fear. That's what they're talking about. So now they're looking for other ways to do that. What other ways can we use? Because this is at IIA. If you did not watch, again, Millie's video on Shadowgate, they use this thing called IIA, and through there they learn what. So IIA, Millie's IIA, just so you guys are aware, on my platform, I do have part 1 and part 2 of what I'm talking about in there. See this? Sheltergate 2.0. I encourage you guys to go check it out for reals. To use to control the minds of people, both good and bad. This is what this is. Creative industries to continue the environmentally positive behaviors that occurred during lockdown. There were no damn positive behaviors. What they mean is to study and find more creative ways to trick you into staying in lockdown is more like it. It includes over 200 individuals drawn competing agencies to work together using their influence and creativity to promote and maintain sustainable behaviors that have taken root during a lockdown. What could we take away from the lockdown? What could we do to keep it going on? How could we keep people locked in their house and from going around? And they're going to use every excuse. This pandemic is just a test run, because they're going to use pandemic, fear, other diseases. Oh no, you can't even go outside. Or they're going to say there's something in the air that people are dying from. They're going to use all kinds of excuses to try to keep people on lockdown. And they're successful at it. What is the creative brief? The brief asks that the industries create something to celebrate the accidental climate heroes of Britain. I read that before and wear it as a badge of honor. The brief is accessible to people who have already pledged their support. Look at that. You must pledge your support, talent, and time to this movement, plus invites any agency or individual who is yet to do so. Over 170 individuals and agencies from the industry have signed up to the initiative, including, and there's the names of the companies. The funny thing is this, even Elvis. Look, it says Creature and Elvis. So Elvis is not dead. He's now doing what he can to promote environmentally conscious people. Sorry. How does it work? In the industry first, the creative idea submitted to the Great Reset will be judged by D and AD New Blood Academy. Boy, what's with these elites in blood? I know, it's the satanic thing. I heard you out there say it. Over 200 students. What they're really saying is over 200 brainwashed and doctrined people from the academy will be selected. The best creative works, which will then be showcased across the various media spaces. In other words, do what you can to be the most creative at doing what you need to do to brainwash the masses. New blood. Here we go with that blood thing again, satanic people. New blood creatives will be supported by experienced mentors from the UK's top agencies. Oh man, this thing is going to get so much worse before it ever gets better. So they tell you the deadline. So let's go over this to the purpose disruptors. So the purpose disruptors. We are a network of advertising insiders. So a network of advertising insiders working together to reshape our industry to tackle climate change. You can't stop nature. It does what it wants to do. But what you can do with nature is use it like a weapon to push your agenda. That's exactly what's going on. We aim to create our visible, large-scale, bottom-up movement within the advertising, marketing, communication industry that will act in solidarity to meaningfully tackle climate change. You can encourage people. When you try to force people to do something, their natural response is to rebel. So you might be walking down a street and you accidentally drop a piece of paper. You turn around because you knew it fell. Somebody's behind you and your intention is to pick it up. Somebody's behind you, like, hey, pick up that paper. What's the first thing that goes to your mind besides go F yourself? No, you just go, screw that. I don't need you telling me. I don't know who the hell you are. That's how you are. Your natural response is going to be to rebel. Look at these people, man. Our work is focused on creative ripples of change which enable long-lasting and far-reaching change to happen. A key role of the purpose disruptors is to create the infrastructure to enable this. We carefully design and curate the spaces and opportunities for people to meet. So I don't have a problem with people getting together. But when you try to figure out when their sole purpose is to create ways to mind control people or brainwash them into pushing what they want accomplished, that's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with you going out there and talking to people and trying to say, hey, there's a little bit more we could do. But if you try to force them, that's a no-no. So over here it says the Great Reset. The Great Reset is a cultural movement to maintain the positive environmental behaviors developed during the lockdown. I still can't believe that way they're wording that. So that's what they're doing here, and all this other stuff I've already read for you. The Climate Crisis Summit. Now, see, remember I was telling you about the natural responses to rebel? And you have all these people. Now, keep in mind, they told us this before. We were all going to die within a short period of time. They've done this before. They did it in the 70s. They did it in the 80s. They did it in the 90s. Al Gore told us that we were going to flood by 2010. We're not flooded. As a matter of fact, you can go and look online. Do this just for shits and giggles. Go online and Google Coney Island 100 years ago. And then Coney Island today. That's on the East Coast. Then I want you to go Google Huntington Pier 100 years ago and Huntington Pier today. Does it look like we have any flooding happening around the damn world? That's 100 years apart in pictures, and the water levels have not changed at all. They're lying to you. Now, having said that again, it doesn't mean we couldn't do more to clean things up. But I love how they show you this part in the ocean where all this plastic's floating around, and they go, oh man, look how bad we are. We're such terrible polluters. No, most of that crap comes from these freaking tsunamis. Come on, man. All these tsunamis we've seen happen in Japan, it's happened several times. Most of that crap gets washed out to sea. Cars, boats, houses, trash. But they won't waste an opportunity to go, look what man is doing. You mean to tell me you could go through and see that millions upon millions of pieces of plastic and trash, and you know for a fact that it's somebody just threw it on the ground or accidentally got into the water? Or am I right by going, that's just an accumulation of tsunami after tsunami after tsunami? Our industry's first climate crisis launched out in 2019. You know what? Anyways, I was saying, talk about rebellious behavior or rebellious nature. So now they're telling us again, look at this. If we don't do something, we're going to be dead. And they first said 12 years is what they said. Then they changed it to 10 years. They had that little Hitler girl running around Thornburg saying, it's your fault. I lost my childhood. No, it's your damn parents' fault for allowing you to be brainwashed and dragged into this bullshit instead of living a normal life like a child. Anyways, here's what I'm talking about. Now they're telling us, 10 years? We're going to die in 10 years if you don't do what we tell you and move into this great reset. That's what they're doing. You're going to die. They're fear-mongering. Nobody's falling for it. Now, my first instinct is like, I say, screw it. Let's see what happens. Don't listen to what they're saying and see if we die in 10 years. We're not going to die in 10 years. They lie every time. And guess what's going to happen when 10 years comes up? They're going to go, oh, thanks to some great strides. There was no great strides. Nothing's changed. We're still doing the same thing. But they're just going to make another excuse and then turn around and go, oh my God, the world's going to end in 6 years if we don't do that. They're going to keep doing that over and over until they get enough of them. Enough kids that have now been indoctrinated, enough kids that are brainwashed that their generation comes up and goes, hey, the world will end, and they get scared and they fall for it. Change the brief. Our industry climate crisis summit called on the collective actions. Change the brief was the first response to the call for, Marco Rimney, Mindshare Chief Production Officer. Change the brief enables you to respond to the client briefs in a way that promotes more sustainable values, attitudes, and behaviors in the client's audience. In other words, what can we do to brainwash the people better, faster, to get us to do what we want? Here's another group. Creative and Strike. On the 20th of September 2019, young people mobilized to fight the climate emergency. We use this opportunity to put our industry creative talent behind the voices that matter. See what I mean? See, instead of just going out and trying to convince the masses, they've learned, we've learned, go after the children. You see what's already happening. They already brainwashed them into hating America. The media is adding to it. Entertainment is adding to it. They want one world order, new world order. That's exactly where they're pushing us to. All right, you guys, so that's just it for now. I'm just showing you, look at, now they're talking about what they need to do, which is something that Millie was talking about, the IIA. And that is they want to find ways through artificial intelligence, find ways in which they could push our buttons or fool us into accepting the Great Reset. You can't fall for this crap. This is really bad news. that once we go into this, billions of people will die. Now, that's not being hyperbolic, and I'm not being like them. A socialist economy, a worldwide socialist economy, would kill people. All right, you guys, that's it for now. I just wanted to share this with you, and I hope earlier you hit the like button and you subscribed if you're not a subscriber, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.